Hello everyone! Today I'm in Burlington, Vermont, which is odd because I don't come up here very much. I live down in White River Junction, so it's a bit of a drive. And it's also, to me, I find it an intimidating city. It's so full of young, hot, attractive people and all these hip businesses. It really feels like a big city to me. With that said, whenever I come to Burlington, this is the place that I come, 150 Cherry Street. Years ago, this used to be New Moon Cafe. It was a community center. It was a delicious coffee shop. They had great food, and I would come here all the time. Now, over the pandemic in 2020, Vivid Coffee moved into the space, and they are the ones that are filling it with love now. I wanted to bring you here today to meet Ian Bailey, the owner of Vivid Coffee, to hear a little bit about their story and what they're doing around coffee and wine. So let's go check it out.
Hey, I'm Ian Bailey. Welcome to Vivid Coffee.
Ian, can you tell us about your story and this brand?
Yeah, Vivid Coffee started in 2015 as a coffee roaster. We were primarily wholesale, supplying other cafes and restaurants throughout Vermont mostly and the Northeast. And in 2020, we opened up a cafe here in Burlington, Vermont, downtown.
When you started, what was your goal? And how has that changed?
Yeah, I'd say my goal was really to be one of the best roasters, if not the best coffee roaster in Vermont. And I think over time, that evolved and adapted to adopt a parallel value of sourcing coffee in a way that's equitable and sustainable throughout the value chain. So that means caring for the farmers that produce the coffee, paying fair wages, ensuring that sustainable farming practices are happening on a farm level, and working with farmers year after year so they have a predictable partner and income.
Every year the coffee quality is going to go up and down just depending on a number of variables.
Yeah.
But because you work with these farmers in long-term relationships, they know that they always have some to sell to. One thing I find really special about that is that customers here throughout Vermont get to have a relationship with these farmers through you.
Yeah.
It's not like it's always changing what's the flavor of the year.
Yeah.
But it's always this deep standing relationship.
Yeah.
I think it's very special.
Yeah, it's really great because we're able to, because we have the same coffee year after year, people look forward to coffee from, say, for example, Santos Lopez or Nahun Fernandez when it's only here for a few months, but next year it arrives and people get excited because they're like, oh, I remember that from last year.
So I feel kind of spoiled because I've been drinking Vivid for a long time. If you haven't had the chance, I highly recommend that you try it. One thing that Ian talks a lot about is making coffee accessible. And I think this might be the time to also mention wine.
Okay, yeah.
Can you talk about that and how that ties into your mission?
I really have a heart for being able to share things in an approachable way, in a way that can be understood. It's funny because I think wine is the only other industry that's perhaps more pretentious than specialty coffee, and as far as like people can feel intimidated by it. There's a hospitality issue a lot of times in how it's presented and sold. Tonight we have a wine event.
And so this event tonight is open to the public.
It is, yeah. So the spirit of tonight's event is, first off, we're highlighting all winemakers from Vermont. So it's 100% winemakers from Vermont, some old school, some new school, all doing things naturally, implementing organic, biodynamic farming practices. And yeah, tonight's event, you would come up to the front of the cafe and you'd order a bottle of wine or a glass of wine in the same way that you'd order a coffee. So it's really casual. We'll pop that bottle open, hand it over to you, engage the night kind of at your own comfort level. And so there's all sorts of price ranges and options.
So if I showed up and I really wanted to drink my glass of wine with ice in it, would you serve it that way?
1,000%. Yes. I might not recommend it that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not gonna, if it's not gonna hurt anyone, I have no problem with that. Same thing.
Yeah.
We get people who come into the coffee shop and they apologize for ordering coffee with sugar or with cream the way we like it, and I try to let them know you should never have to apologize for what you like, and what you enjoy, because I think at the end of the day, their enjoyment as a customer and a guest in our space is the priority for sure.
It's your mouth.
Yeah, it's your mouth. That's
your
the
mouth.
tagline. Yeah. Vivid's new tagline. It's your mouth.
Vivid.
Yeah.
It's your mouth. So for anyone out there, if you want to find Vivid Coffee, you can sign up for a subscription. You can get their coffee wholesale. If you're a restaurateur, you can always come here, and you can also find them at the farmers market.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, Ian, thank you so much for having us and taking the time to tell your story.
Yeah, thank you, Rocket. Yeah.
So before I end this video, I wanted to give you a quick update on what is going on with New Moon. Although they're no longer occupying this downstairs space, they actually are still running a catering business upstairs. And every day they are producing, I think, something like 300 meals for the local food shelter. Matt Beer, who is the owner of New Moon, has always been this really mission-driven person, like frankly a lot of small business owners in Vermont. So I just think it is wonderful that this space has found a new occupant, which is Ian and Vivid, but at the same time, New Moon and its operations and its legacy continue here in town. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all in the next video.